record it. There you go, everybody, recording in progress, because I have the sign in front of my window that says push fucking record, because I'm not supposed to forget. And I'm going to do all that. So we're going to go ahead and turn this microphone over to MoonDrop Productions. Our musical guest is going to be introduced tonight to us tonight by Cassandra Dallett.
Hey, everybody. Super excited. Oh my God, Paul, me and that recording button. It's like literally always recording when it shouldn't be and not when it should. Been there. Anyways, I'm super excited to introduce y'all to Ronnie Chambers, aka Knowledge Bone AGE. He's from San Francisco, California. He's an MC, a songwriter, a storyteller, a videographer, and a video editor. And you can find my videos, among other poets, as videos that he has taken and edited and turned into something amazing. By day, he teaches boxing and Pilates. We have clothing under Pimp the System Designs, PTSD. You can find him under Battlecore Pilates, and I will put, this is all on our page. On IG, look for videos under Ronnie Chambers on YouTube or at Knowledge Bone on TikTok, and really do please support him because he's freaking awesome. And he's got his DJ here. We have guitar Hana Pesha, who many of you will know from the writing world. He's got an album coming out this fall. It's called This Is Real Life. This is real motherfucking life. Knowledge Bone, take it away. You ready? There we go.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, let's do it.
A neighbor not wanting to reveal his identity says he and his family were woken up by the sound of gunshots.
We were trying to figure out what was going on. Wasn't 100% sure if it was fireworks or gunshots, and figured out pretty quick it was gunshots.
Dedicated to open. All I hear is fireworks and gunshots. Hope you ain't on the other end when that gun pop. Candles and bottles at my feet, new memorial down my street. From the hills they see the stars, but down here we live in tents and cars. And from up there they can't hear the sound of 45 homicides this year, and it's only April. Blown up pictures, deflated balloons. At 17, is he gone too soon? He was a killer though, so I can't say no more. Every intersection got burned out, marched from the muscle cars that swing inside. Shows this an Oakland thing, right across the bridge from my home. Hey, San Francisco is where I was born. Spent a few summers off in Oakland though. Is it gunshots or firecrackers going off in the distance? I can tell the difference when I'm listening. Mobile homes line the street everywhere you look. Homeless cities appear like pictures in the pop-up book. They evicted UBP Newton and raised the rent. Barbecue baby moved in, that's why Oakland went. I'm so used to the sound, when I hear it, I don't get on the ground. Gunshots and fireworks are all around. And let me tell you, this here go on all night. Is the blast from celebration or a gunman taking life? I turn my TV up to try to drown out the sound in my neighbor park speaker pound. I roll my eyes cause I can't catch a break. Is it gunshots or firecrackers going off in the distance? I can tell the difference when I'm listening. But last night was quiet. One shot broke the silence. Another shrine around my way is how I start my day. Fireworks or gunshots. And thank you for coming through. I really appreciate it. When I first heard this beat, I wanted to get on that beat.
I just started playing guitar.
Is that right? I just started rapping recently. Hey, but it was a good song, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming to the video also.
Yeah, check out the video, everybody.
Yeah, y'all gotta check the video out on my YouTube, man. Ronnie Chambers, Pilates and boxing. And YouTube, man. Pilates and boxing. Ronnie Chambers. Go ahead and check it out. All right, man. What's up, niggas? Yeah, it's funny how it happened. Hey, yo, check it. I wanna be with you. Let's be clear. Whenever you around, happiness is near, so I'm a pause. Put on this hard hat, break down them walls. Whatever they complain about, I'ma make sure the words never leave your mouth. I want you to always look at me with a smile. And like a child, I'll rub your feet when they hurt. Your back tight, I'll go to work. I get your long low, you're tight. You gon' feel my breath on your neck all night. It's too late to turn back round. It's too late. It's too late, and I'm falling. It's too late to turn back. I'm falling. I'm leaving. Hey, how you guys if we're going too fast? And I say no. Catch the wave, rock the flow, rock the boat, tip it over. I'ma stay inside you till I get to know you. Start the candle, spark the playlist. All in the stars like the riding spaceships. I ain't gotta get to know you. What? Cause I already do. You might got to wait for it. Why? Cause it already grew. I'ma tell you like this. I learned from my mistakes. And then once I make them flow, I will never ever make what? And that's so official. Let me stop rapping so I can kiss you like fire. Yeah. It's late, it's too late, yes, it's too late. It's too late, yes, I'm falling. It's too late to turn back. I'm leaving. Rally rain on the beat, man. AGE Entertainment. This is the name of the label. Yeah. Any distraction over there? Is that you? Yeah, it is you. Now it's on AGE. Don't forget that AGE. It is you. It's the brand. Know what I tell others? Singing you remind me of all the nights I used to beat it up. I would do it again, but I can't. Ooh. Hey, it's too late.
You don't have to think about it, you just have to do
You
it.
might be hanging around my neck like a noose. Just a reminder that I am the truth. What you gonna do when I speak it? You gon' wanna kill me when I teach it. They gon' wanna see it. They gon' wanna be right next. They gon' wanna benefit from the flesh. But I'm pushing these borders. I'm really the star. I'm really the stepper. I was the goal. I was the protection. I was the weapon. You reflect off my shine. You live in my shadow. Once I rewind, I was the attraction and you the entourage. You don't got no shine without me. That's a mirage. They don't really love me. I had to let them know. See, it was my time. I had to get up and you wanted me to wait for you, but I got my angel straight from the source. Cold-blooded killer will assassinate your character. I'll be everywhere. Yep, all up in your area. I hear sideways talk out of your teeth. Right hook sideways, mess up your speech. I'm not holding back no more. I'ma let it all go. Put my hands on one of you just to let you all know it. Rally rain, don't touch it. I'm not spitting on it. I go against the grain every time I'm getting on it. If you want war, all you gotta do is step. But you know my rap, so in the way you left, don't make me get active. It's hard to turn off. Don't try to get next to me, get burned by the salt. They don't really love me. I had to let them go. See, it was my time. I had to get up and you wanted me to wait for you, but I got my angel straight from the source. You say you want a monster? Well, here's a sea creature. Drag you into the deep right before I Easter. I'm an old veteran, survived many wars. Streets of San Francisco is where I was raised. I'ma stop speaking strange weeds in the garden. Kill gang cussing, these snitches be talking. It's the first 48. I'm in interrogation. Yes, I need a lawyer. Go graduated high school. 4 months from now, level 4 prison yard. I didn't get a phone call, I didn't get a visit. I was missing my mama, so I got bitches. They don't really love me, I had to let them see it was my time. I had to get up and you wanted me to wait for you, but I got my angel straight from the source. Told me when to. Hey, I just recorded that like 3 days ago. We out right now. Go. Y'all better catch up. But it ain't over yet. We got some more. Thank you for saying, man. I appreciate it. This remind me of Richmond, so open up the door before I kick it down. You open up your mouth, I knock your teeth on the ground. Really, I'm not playing. My word is my bond. I've been drilling since '94. You wasn't even born. I was still in diapers when crack first hit. My life went down, mom took her first hit. My life went up when I started selling it, but I made more money when I started hitting licks. True, but now my second home set fire to myself. Beat 5 lockdown, I'm known for raising hell. Wasn't good at trash talk, so I kept my mouth closed. Whooping out your cell, you will get a pressing fold. What's a pressing fold? Apply pressure, soldier, tuck your way. Ain't nobody told you that boy don't play. My mama been warned to stay out his way, but you just ain't won't listen. Then you go with that dissing. You Thought I wouldn't react to it, but you think you think that boy, I ain't known for running. But I even from a loose pit, Eddie Street, early 90s, yeah, I see some sick shit. Under kept dying while I kept driving. I kept hustling, bullets kept flying. Moved to the burbs because the weather was nice. It wasn't raining bullets, the money was right. And I can hustle low key, don't nobody know me. Trapping before the fad, since about 86. I was 6 when my grandma stuffed a paper towel with pills inside my pocket. And say, count the money. She looked me in the eyes and said, ain't nothing funny. I never had a childhood, had to grow a fast nose, running in the fall. San Francisco Rangers home with overtones of Oakland, undertones of Richmond. That's why I'm smooth, that's why I'm fishing. I can't forget about my Rand City and them trenches. But the life behind me, ain't nobody trying to find me. I'm 42 in the booth, sounding young and grimy. 42 on the mic, sound relevant. My age ain't the only thing keeping me ahead of them. I laid back 14 years taking notes. Knowledge Bone AGE is here for some smoke. I laid back 14 years taking notes. I'm here for some smoke. Taking notes. Knowledge Bone AGE here for some smoke. I said I laid back for 14 years taking notes. No, I'm ready for the smoke. This right here, this is just the jazz. I ain't even come with the combination yet. Woo! That's Rally Rain on the beat, man. Ain't done nothing like this in like 20-something years. Let's go. Let's get it. Hey! Hold on. Wait. This is the last one, y'all. Hey, the ladies say when them legs is crooked and skinny, he probably pack a punch. He probably working with that food. He probably got that sweet back. It's probably all good. He walking like a cowboy. I want to get into him. That's the issue I got. They just can't get enough of it. I didn't move on and they still there suffering. Play social media, the trucks and burner phones. Surprise follow visits to my relatives home. The motion of my ocean got them trapped in emotion. Once they rock the wave, they want to continue coasting. Go against the current and the crooked legs will walk. Now you driving on the side of me like I just want to talk. But I ain't got time to step up in the way. They can have a nice year, nice money, and a nice day. They say pussy is power, but these bow legs still got them caught in an empty part. Hey, love them and leave them. That's what I used to do. Use them and abuse them, then I laid eyes on you. You got the flipping off, the boy they got the skipping off. Under her and over you is how I cut my feelings off. They see me strolling and they get this look in their eyes. Cause they know when I cut it's long, short, deep, and wide. Yeah, we gon' fly high, but the sky won't be friendly. It's gonna be turbulent, it's gonna be windy. You will be bending, you gon' get stretched. Your toes in my headboard won't connect. Girl, I'm about to action when you put me on that mattress. And I'm athletic, I'm down with the acrobatics. You want your back broke, sheets wet, legs shaking. I came and gave it to you when you couldn't even take it. Yeah, I had to fake it, roll over, get out of there. I'm rolling for strikes, I'm not playing for spares. You gotta turn this up in a way. Have a nice year, nice month, nice day. They say pussy is power, but these bow legs still got them calling the empty part. My side of the head. When the bow leg guy walked by, he touched the girls and made them fly. Kissed the girls and made them hot. He walked off and made them cry. When the bow leg guy walked by, he touched the girls and made them fly. Kissed the girls and made them hot. He walked off and made them cry. Yes. Hey! Knowledge Bone AGE, get it on all platforms. iTunes, Spotify, anywhere. It's gonna be everywhere. This is real life. Knowledge Bone AGE, Rally Ready, baby. Oh, we still going? Wait, we still on? Hold on. I'm the one main homie A song. I never been taken out. I keep MCs looking out. Been dropping signs like God's been dropping babies. Enough to make us go crazy. In the G building, taking all types of medicines. Your ass thought you were better than a son. I keep planets in orbit. While I be coming with deeper and more shit. Free run for the bell word. Got us all. We still on there. I didn't think we had all this time, y'all. I'm sorry. We about to put something else on there for y'all. I'm coming out soon, man. I'm not a good promoter of myself, so somebody just had to remind me that album coming out soon, man. It will be on all the platforms. You know what I'm saying? I don't know which ones yet, but we will figure that out. All platforms. I did say that. Right on, my bad. It's gonna be there. So if you need me at your bar mitzvah, your wedding, your graduation, your quinceañera, I got songs for all that, man. Let me. You want me at your reading? Somebody cut me off. Anyway. No, you're right. My bad. We looking for another song for y'all. We thought we only had 12 minutes. Tell us how much time we got? I don't know, but they still got the microphone on us and people are still tuned in. We got 6 minutes. 6 more minutes. Man, put something else on. 6 more minutes, Dougie Fresh, we on?
6 more minutes, Dougie Fresh, we're on. On.
All right, let me dig in the crates. Let me see if I got some digging on the crates. Let's dig in the crates real quick. What we got? Bloody Summer. Put that Bloody Summer on. I got that logged up. What you got? I'm trying to come with the pool. The Superior Pool? Yeah. You got the words on it? Yeah. Okay, turn that up. I just recorded this yesterday. So I really don't even know the words. I'm just singing along with it. Turn that shit up. Hey, yeah, I drive a Honda, but it smell like Prada. You about $1. I'm about investing in myself longevity. You thought you go up, but without me that ain't happening. You inferior, you needed me, and that's the truth. And that's what God loves, but she don't let you hold it down her children. With mic in hand, I'm burning down the building. The crowd still standing in the ashes. The lights and cameras still flashing. For me, I'm in my B-boy stance. You in the bay, feel me? We get hypey, so we gon' dance. Rally rain, pick me up so I can ride the wave. I'm flying on top. Listen to the haters say. I'm better than you. I'm superior. I'm better than you. Hey, where I'm from? Yo, I'm from the San Francisco part of the San Francisco Bay. After the fire and the earthquakes, knowledge is made. From the bees and the jack moves, knowledge is paid. To my youngest on the first real night of the day. Come on. I'm the driver they jump out. You hear them doors open, blank face, goons, guns out. When I was a teen, no expression, mug never was mean. Across my neck, shoestring, hell losing machine. I don't need no one to vouch for how I ran my route. No co-defendant, no witnesses, no one can speak out. Yeah. I'm better than you. Come on. This is superior. Let's start it over. Let's go. Yeah, I drop a 100, but it smell like Prada. You about $1. Hey, I'm about investing in myself longevity. You thought you go up, but without me that ain't happening. Cause you inferior, you need them shit, that's the truth. And that's what God loves. She don't like you holding down her children. With my hand, I'm burning down the building. The crowd still standing in the ashes. The lights and cameras still flashing. But me, I'm in my B-boy stance. You in the back, feel me? We get hypey, so we gon' dance. Rally rain, me up so I can ride the wave. I'm gliding on top. Listening to the haters say, I'm better than you. Come on. I'm superior proof. I'm better than you. Knowledge phone. Hey, I'm from the San Francisco part of the San Francisco Bay. After the fire and the earthquakes, knowledge is made. From the bees and the jack moves, knowledge is made. To my youngest on their first real day of the day. Come on your turf, I'm the driver, they can jump out. You hear the doors open, blank face, roll jump out. When I was a teen, I was fresh and love, never was me. Around my neck, shoestring, hell, ooh, machine. How do you know what's for how around my side? Come on, please. Nobody can speak out. Wise words from my mama, not a stranger. Told me how to send danger, told me to keep it safe. And what did it take? Gas, no break. What? Traffic lane switching. Lanes missing. I'm taking over. Hey, I ain't never been broke just without money. Yeah, that shit is funny. I'm superior cool. Guess what? I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm superior cool. Hey. I just wanted to just yesterday. You got the SOE?
Oh, SOE, SOE.
Y'all get new releases before they even drop.
Go ahead and put up a, what you call that? What's that thing when they donate?
Put the
what's that called?
The fund me.
Yeah, no fund me, man.
You know what I mean? Fund that tour, man. You know what I'm saying? Fund that tour money. Get it in, man.
Do you have a link for that, sir?
SOE for everything.
Give us your Venmo. Give us your PayPal.
We're going to bridge that link, though. Please leave it. Stay tuned.
You can add me.
S-O.
Baby, last one.
S-O-E.
Just play my part, though.
S-O-E.
I don't even know my part. Hey, I got a text, and all it said was S-O-E. I'm to clear my schedule. My woman is in need. If I got plans, then I better scratch them. The woman throwing me love, and I gotta catch it. For me to get this text, she must have had a long day, and an itch that only dick can take away.
I got that.
So let me make sure I'm ready. Throw my daughter by my mama, since it's about to get freaky in this house. Like Hammer said, turn his mother out. Her mother's waiting to hear soon as she walk through the door. We all alone, so we can do it anywhere. Dancing, burning, shower, running, so hop in there. I got it all laid out. Lotion, motion, and spell. I'm trying to call the blood. I'm trying to make it water swell. I'm going to do all I can to set the scene right. You let it be known. Sex over everything tonight.
Come on.
That's a new text message right there, man.
And so
when you ready for it to go down, you know what I'm saying? And you want your folks to be ready to?
It's SOE on everything.
O-E, man. Hey, we ain't giving y'all no more. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you so much.
I don't want to hold y'all up because I could. So I'm going to just go ahead and end it.
Can y'all unmute yourselves and give them a huge round of applause? Chambers, aka Knowledge Bone AG.
Knowledge Bone.
Bradley Rain, Hannah Pesha on guitar.
Stay tuned for the funds.
Okay, mute yourself, babe. Please. Hey, listen, I will post, if you follow me, Cassandra Dallett, your badass bookworm, I'll post lots of links as to the status of the record being released, shows coming up. I know they're doing a contest tomorrow here in Oakland, but all that stuff, I will, if you follow me, I will keep you abreast, and I will probably do podcasts with them when the album's ready to drop as well under Badass Bookworm. So that is Knowledge Bone, my bae, and I hope you enjoyed. And I'm gonna turn you over to Kelechi, who's gonna introduce our first reader.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here. We are MoonDrop Productions. We're a work of me and Cassandra. This year is our 4-year anniversary. We're quarterly theme-based, so expect something coming out for us in December, submissions, and we're gonna try to have a show in January. We'll see if it's in person, who knows? Life is interesting. But before I introduce this first amazing writer, the name of our show is called New Shit. And I just feel like I need to hear, if you could unmute yourself, there's just a sound when you hear new shit. So if everyone could unmute yourself, and then we're gonna do a countdown of 3, 2, 1. New shit!
Oh yeah, new shit.
Okay, Well, thank you for that. I just needed to hear y'all say it. I can't say it by myself. I want to introduce you to LaMar Mitchell, dope ass writer, poet. LaMar Mitchell is first and foremost a fan child of the arts. He writes poetry, screenplays, novels, short stories, nonfiction stories, and articles about the mentally ill. He received his doctorate in I don't know what the fuck I'm doing and his master's in anti-confluential narrative at the Jorge Luis Borges School for the Clueless. He is currently working on a novel called The Phalanx of the Rabid Eunuchs and is preparing a book of poetry tentatively titled Psychedelic Existentialism. He is currently living in Oakland, California. Whoa, those are so many words. You're so dope. I'm so excited to hear you. This is amazing, writer. Turning it over to LaMar. Pew, pew, pew.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, and everything she said was true. Hold up. Okay. Yeah. So the first piece I want to present to you guys, it's called "In the Company of Wolves." It kind of the title kind of has a kinship with Ginsberg's Howl. So here we go. In the Company of Wolves. Because Oakland knows broken souls like the backs of her cruel alligator hands, where melanated people die under banners that scream Black Lives Matter, where riots are named after dead Black men slaughtered in the streets by peace officers. We're pointing out that our country is racist, is considered racist, where illiterate graffiti writers scribble on walls and names go up and property values of the neighborhood go down, where Nia Wilson is just Nia Wilson until she's knifed in a train station by a white man, and then it's say her name, where candlelight vigils and memorials for the dead become city landmarks where everybody forgets everybody, but seem only to remember the slain, where you can thumbtack a map of Oakland for every violent death and end up with nothing but thumbtacks, like pimples on the face of a 13-year-old, where a whole line of fathers died on that face's cheeks, like teardrops snuffed by the heat, where faces are obscured, where mugshots are king, Oakland drowning in her own blood. We're saying I ain't no punk starts fistfights in a McDonald's parking lot, and Morris Shriners in red tarbouche hats start fistfights over anti-Nazi politics. Where everything changes nothing, and angelfish turn into pufferfish the second a cop siren bleeps. Where catcalls from the bodies of Black women never sound like the sacred Israelite chanting they were invented for. Where you can set your clocks by the frequency of gunshots, but backfire from car mufflers or just color people's Timexes stuttering in the imprecise language of fear and expectancy of death. Where the smoky cacophony of subwoofer speakers fume with Mac Dre while chopping and screwing eardrums until they can hear ghosts dog whistling for their ghost gangster crew members who are holding the guns aimed at preschoolers' heads that are filled with the future of no Negroes, no Spics, no dogs, and some war-torn idiot's idea of America 3000 AD, where homeless women have to eat their own intestinal where homeless women have to eat their own intestinal tract to survive, where infamous rappers are born under streetlights brighter than their Hotep heroes, where poisonous toxicity rules the streets like a fake white Hollywood pharaoh whipping his 33-horse carriage, surrounded by the Black slaves who created him in the blockbuster Zack Snyder epic that will make more money on a Friday afternoon than the Black-owned bookstore will make in an entire decade. We're staring at an urban face too long is a ticket to shooting the fair one with a soul you'll tragically never know. Where strange fruit with nooses around their necks suddenly crane their necks upward and mumble blues songs that get 3 hits on Spotify. Where school textbooks are filled with the skullduggerous artistry of con men who guard the gates of knowledge with armed Mandingo men hand-plucked from the octagon of obedience. Where deception wears the bedraggled face of a junkie, desperate for a sip of a nightmare that will pull them from the egregious vortex that will spit them back into the nightmare. Where little children learn the mathematic code of the bullet shell abacus and lust to count to infinity. Where sadism and schadenfreude can wear the unthinking grin of an 8-year-old kid who kills kittens in his neighborhood for sport. Where deputy sheriffs in the county jail would throw a norteño and a sereno into the same cell and bet cigarettes and Debbie snacks on who will get killed first. Where living in the hills is a white people thing and living in the flatlands is a brown people thing. Where shoes dangle by their laces from telephone wires, Where Huey Newton died and Wakanda was born, where Oscar Grant died. Where future versions of the city will be counting the prosperous banknotes of Black, Nubian, Hebrew, Egyptian, and Abyssinian hagiarchs living by the idea of gross national happiness. Where the smiles of future Black grandmothers will part like movie theater curtains to reveal the powerhouse of cinematic genius influenced by the new Senegal wave, the new Mali wave, the new Kenyan wave, and will speak the flames of Toussaint L'Ouverture into existence. Where the famously was no there. Where Gertrude Stein will eat her own words like an autophagus cannibalistic glutton, making a Denny's meal of her own rectum. Where the city sleeps forever on her stomach because of bullets lodged in her spine. Where Chauncey Bailey died, where Chauncey Bailey died, where Chauncey Bailey died. Where the steatopygic prognathic galaxy will be resurrected in the happy shadows of Taoism. Where melanin will become as priceless as gold and silver and jade. Where ex-hustlers will tell stories to their kids about the long forgotten days of low-income neighborhoods and megachurches. Where riots won't catalyze justice because speaking your poem will. Where peer crisis counselors will de-escalate a violent situation instead of the Keystone Cops. Where the roads to egalitarian legislation will lead to the rise and not the sunken place. Where bullets and slave ships and cop cars and Confederate statues and swords and crack pipes and alcohol bottles are melted into the structure of rocket ships only dreamed about in Black nerd comic books. Like coral reefs emerging out of WW2 battleship wreckage. Like trash that became sacred scrolls. Like the restoration of the rainforest propelled by the quiver of 100 billion ripple quill effects. Like water into wine, like plantation food scraps into gumbo, like roses blooming from the soil of Hitler's and Trump's grave, like scar tissue, like water, like water, like water, natural as rain. Thank you. I got one more. Hold on one second. I got one more. Okay, this is sort of an imagistic exercise in surrealism. It's called 365 Days of Psychedelia. I wrote this one last year. Mechanical squirrels nibble on the exposed legs of old catatonic women in parks. My heart is scabbed over with roofing material from 7 coats of downtown art. Graffiti galaxy stitching into the lysergic dathomide matrix. Agent Smith disappears into evanescent JavaScript as I hacked into moral bank statements. A spread eagle Vitruvian Bigfoot on the operating table signifying racist democracy. It's Dr. Frankenstein's golem, directed from the womb of Mephistopheles. Reanimator with an interpolated rotoscope paintbrush, expressing 99 shades of melanin from the black rainbow sage touch. My life's an equatorial rainforest buzzing with tropical insects. Entertaining optical infestations of Odin and Thor incest. Deep in the heart of Homo Eros, on a sundial founded by 5,000 trans women warriors, a Dora Milaje entourage rolling with Eric Killmonger in the Wakanda orchards. News flashes from the guts of a tauntaun, thick in the snow of Sugar Hill, Oaktown, where the Mac gangsters roam with she, her, they pronouns. A kissy dagger from deep like Brookfield's own Damian Lillard, 75 fluid ounces of rogue alien killer, projecting atheist thrillers. Unfiltered gorillas cut through the loquacious trees, inhaling ancestral wisdom. Autoerotic storage of tantric energy with instrumental visions. Orangutan cotillions, arranged by a televangelist from an albino planet. Revitaligos the tonic, oceanic calm after neuromelanin tablets. Zero observer moments as the Earth's scar tissue builds like nebulous expanding construction foam. The form around the straw man, technicolored in destruction's tone. The scaldingly thermal lizard blood hot sauce twists my skull crazy. I pull lazy robots out of the dust squall and install ghoulish babies. Preach the Kabbalah on a chocolate corner where stuffed animals holster pistols. Bubble galaxies get vaporized into gluons, crystallized into colder whistles. Eating udon noodles, sleeping on futons with the enemy mind. Rebuilding pyramids like cheerleader squads, phoenix out of the ashes of time, sipping memory wine. mind-boggling primate offals stacked in heaps atop an octagon, dharmic polygonal axis transferring hippie flowers to Algernon. Blepharospasms twitch from waking life, rapid movement. In the lucid dream roller coaster, a Morpheus loose leaf for spooky action at a distance for magic plumage. The cute koalas collaborate, wearing bandolier belts for the wars against the softies. Epoxies bloom out of floral suffocation, alter egos changing bodies. Colliginous calipigian figment, blotting out the night with white-out vapors. Sacred Sin City indulgence, climb out of psyched-out paper, kicking capers. On checkerboards frozen between bishop and queen, eliminate the checkmate, defunding the police to bring more money to educate kids and fight the mental health pandemic. Altered states of the caveman hitting that old native woman's peace pipe. Far escapist Picassos of the Bizarro movement, only committed to bring dreamlight. Skeet hype, like the tabloid spark android idolatry. Psychogeography of the surrealist moment, embedding Salvador Dali in your biochips colonoscopy. As the Barnabas Collins collective pare down their own divisiveness, Christ and Isis in the chrysalis of midnight enlightenment, 206 domino bones slapped on the intersection of Parcheesi, forming a fifth element goddess out of a geometric design drawn by Al-Khwarizmi. I am Napoleon Dolomite with a liquid sword in my maxillofacial scabbard, spitting razor sharp diamonds that RZA and Jizza remastered. Nuclear contamination contained in my lungs to breathe on surf Nazis, collapsed the whole white power structure that means taking 3/4 off the earth body. Sesame Street feebles who broke the fourth wall protesting the murder of George Floyd. The world stanchioned by Black lesbian matriarchs bringing America more noise. Alopecia inferno of a sub-rosa papacy. Open the book of Vatican centerfolds containing pornographic granaries. Vacancy of the right-wing intellect burns scorching regardless. It cannot claim Phoenix, overshadowed by a trillion Black queer artists. I'm almost done. I live stream the double breast mindful with the whole multiverse. Push a souped up hearse through a crowd of Ku Klux Klan extroverts. Salamander brisket discus match disgusted encryption with subscriptions to the swastika. My microphone's a hooded cobra. H-Rap Brown's garbage Pell Kid Mafia. I'm all up in that ass like Donald Trump's light beam coronavirus disinfectant. Skull and crossbones pandemic with a clear Nixon fetish. Following a trail of et ceteras, I snack on ampersands, apostrophes in my stomach, pipeline the phanograms. This Code of Conqueror is all for a dark happiness. I nutmeg 3 ninjas and grab the cosmic gauntlet just to traffic it. You toss midgets while I heave ho giants. Steatopygia arouses the gringo eyelids. By the volcanic kundalini rising in Sagittarius, sampling Gemini, architect of Ordo ab Chaos, cobbling together pigment shepherd's pies. I seduce earthquakes sucking in tectonic plates, slipping Martian time, pollinate galaxy to galaxy, acquiring male and female concubines. I get up in those James Bond crosshairs, do a spit take with a Walter P22 and eclipse that 007 monkey see, monkey do. Layer after layer of shrouded turn to keep me insulated, but shit, those are measles blankets from Colonel Custer to keep me inebriated. Hated the Crichton sphere, it brought nightmares through my love shares. Now I'm a gummy bear kicking fat styles without a drum snare. Thank you. Oh.
Yes. Thank you, Lamar. Give it up. Give it up.
Give that round of applause.
Good job.
Yay, Lamar.
Yes, we're gonna be a loud audience.
That was so good.
Thank you.
So good.
I appreciate it. Glad to be
Thank you
here.
so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate
so I lost y'all for a second there. My internet went out, and next up we have R Morrison is a high school English teacher, a poet, a drummer. These days she splits her time between the Bay Area and a place she calls Mermaid Town in Southern California near her family. And you should know that KR's first chapbook, Cauldrons, was recently published and released by Paper Press. Woohoo! Give it up, give it up!
Hey, can you hear me? Are we good?
Yep.
Cassandra, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yusuf, Paul, you're amazing. This whole festival is awesome. So All right, I'm gonna start with a couple fresh ones and then close out with some stuff from Cauldrons. This first one's called War Woman. A king-size bed soaked in rape impales a daughter who is also a granddaughter, who is also a mother. Her long hair oiled into knots. She tosses and tangles in red sheets of unrest, lost in a maze of man moods that makes losing her moods and losing herself easy. Loss, a reprieve. Gray sprouts out from her ribs. Her eyelids are two swollen rainstorms. Razor blade red above ancestor shadow portals, where the grandmothers toss and turn, where the first women plant grenades in the oak tree roots. In sleep's rabbit hole, she sees her mother, same age, churning in this. Mother drinks away stomach knots in a greasy king-size bed of rape she didn't make. When the sun interrupts, her mother paints the man away, carves wood into plaques for outlaw men who oddly followed the law by virtue of their beating and their raping. I know a mother poet. She says, out of all the mothers and daughters and grandmothers active in rest, the ones born in December are the babies who burn themselves away in their own fire. Death alive in their havoc, in their fight back. In the southern elements, such war women started. I am war woman's daughter, granddaughter born breech from soul mothers sirening the patriarchy. In knots, I find these women inside of me, daughters and mothers on fire, strapped to his wood crosses, freeing our wombs from boats. War women are not for auction. Texas has me all foamy, so I'm doing a lot for women tonight. This is actually from a really old something I found on my computer, and I worked on it today, and I'm gonna try it out. How to write a lover goodbye. Burn dragon's blood, and don't forget to singe some skin. Burn a hole into the sex-stained sofa. Maybe that red velveteen honeymoon will catch fire. Burn the memories away. Open the windows. So when the homegirls Karma and Medusa come, the wind and smoke will send him away, along with his scent stuck in your hair knots. They'll put the ice cream down and cut the ghosts of his tongue off your neck. Listen to his mother issues drip from your walls. Cough up his wounds where the tires park. Spit him out. Turn on some Slayer. Braid your hair with every dry bend and lisp poems and songs to every why and how come. Throw out the takeout and cigarettes and empty bottles of brown something that since he left, haven't left the bed. Peel off the cold, stale pillows that covet the gunmetal scent of his head. Beneath the mattress, leave bay leaves. On them write, fuck you. You don't get another poem. Find one of those grouchy tin trash cans in the neighborhood and drag it all the way down the block, up your porch steps, where he loved leaving you lives. In it, throw all his letters, his guitar picks cursed with secrets. Bend all those dry flowers till they snap in half. In love's grand hot blaze, cue Tina Turner, light a match. All right, I'm gonna read some from Cauldrons by Paper Press. I'm excited. This is my first chapbook. So this goes out to the women in Texas. It's short. It's called Sacrament. If he's not careful, All these hurting girls with moon cycles will collect her monthly red juju into mason jars like magic ruby bullets. She will phase him away with buried poppets. Armed and charmed, he will end by her holy blood. Which one? Oh, there it is. Next, I'll read Sea Babies. She feeds him dark honey from her mouth. Lip couplets watch words withdraw, wait their turn. Moon and sun write notes to her thighs, to his hands. Under his bare lungs, she finds buried a large nautilus. Inside its spirals, she hears owls singing, signaling her to swallow him, his brown skin. Salvage his heart part sunk below his upset seabed stomach. Inhale his silent mind. Hold thoughts as he holds his breath. He feeds her homemade soup from an amethyst nest. Her abrasions drown, her fixed scars unhook, sink. Moon and sun summon two sea babies within, hands stirring, thighs sirening. All right, I'm gonna read one more. And again, it's for women. This is an old one, Her Burden. By the way, this one was inspired by one of the worst weeks ever. I had a bunch of students have some tragic things happen. I got dumped, and then I watched Thelma and Louise. And then I wrote this, so. Her Burden. In 1 week, a woman can grow life, shoot a rapist, bleed out the last word while he leaks red hell on car fenders. She waxes when she isn't waning. In 1 week, a woman can talk tears off suicidal bridges while she bridges words to new days dressed in smiles. Preparing breakfast mixed with messages, self-discovery over easy, pancakes that make pain to pass. In 1 week, a woman can become an armed robber, or she can nurse bottles and beers, and in the same week, bring freedom to kids she never raised but carries. While vacuuming others' mess, a woman can write a poem on hallways she architects inside her head that always she revises, surveillances. She can burn down the world with flammable honesty, then discover fire extinguishers while men cough, choke, drop for cover. Thank you.
Woo!
Give it up, unmute yourself, give some applause, please.
We're all about love.
Strong voice.
Yay. Yes, KR, please check out her book. So many of you had books come out. We really want to support all the folks who didn't get proper love. And I want to just ask LD Green is coming to the stage, my very, very dear friend, and lovely human. LD Green has been published on Salon, The Body Is Not an Apology, Fog Lifter, and elsewhere. They co-edited the anthology We've Been Too Patient with Moi. English professor by day. They have received fellowships from Lambda Literary, super fancy, Tin House, and Catwalk Artist Residency. Their chapbook, Phoenix Songs, coming to theater near you, will be published by Nomadic Press in February of 2022. I read it. It is amazing, so powerful. So I hope you read from that today, no pressure. But if we can spotlight LD, that would be great, because I don't know how to do anything.
Thank you so much, Kelechi. Okay, so
Yeah, I am definitely reading from Phoenix Song today. And so I have 3 pieces. And the first is actually the introduction to Phoenix Song. As a small child, I watched a lot of epic fantasy movies. Well, 2 mainly, The Last Unicorn and The Neverending Story. I used to joke that I watched and rewatched these 2 so much that their themes and symbols were probably imprinted into my psyche. Probably true. Then round about college time, when I should have been studying, I got high with friends and watched these movies again. The big takeaway from one friend was that in The Neverending Story, the nothing represented capitalism. And sure, I've definitely railed against the 1% with the best of them. But the symbolism of The Last Unicorn has probably been the defining narrative of my life, culminating in this book's publication, My Own Neverending Story. I want to credit my excellent friend Meredith Sums for soberly identifying the villain of that movie as the Red Bull of cis heteropatriarchy. He wants the unicorns, marginalized genders, trapped forever for his amusement and under his control in the ocean near his tower. The last one, she is not last or lost at all. She defeats the Red Bull and frees the other unicorns. So it's true we are all the heroes of our own stories. But when I recall the enchantment and lasting impression of my own childlike wonder, it is this image, the bright, sparkling, magic, urgent, and not so delicate beast cresting through the water, a surge, a collective, a wave. Tarana Burke had the spark, and her song consisted of 2 words, me too. We are a wave. I am in this wave. I am powerful only because I am not alone in the unleashing of truth, a potent magic. This book shares some traumas, childhood and psychiatric. Sometimes they are coded lyrically, sometimes they are more plain spoken as prose as part of the framework for understanding the needs for mental health care reform. Content warning, I am not graphic with regards to childhood trauma, though I do embody its experience through metaphor, and I do delineate some psychiatric traumas in the book. But if this wave of unicorns is the unifying image of the book, you best trust it's also pretty damn gay. And what of the Phoenix? Well, this book has been in the works for what's been with me for over a decade and work that's as fresh as a skinned knee. The Phoenix rose and fell through cycles of ash and fire and flight several times in the gestation of this book, and they are finally ready to settle in for the long haul and sing. And the next piece is called Event Horizons. 1, a young man tells me I don't belong. I'm going to the women's restroom. He yells, "Miss," then asking, "Man?" No sincerity in this, cis man, but you announce my scissored self and you run recklessly with it. I retreat, head down into a text message that does not send until later. I escape into a secluded stall, release my refuse and return to sharp laughter. Into the black hole I go. It's a tight squeeze. I'd rather be wearing a compression vest. 2, a colleague asks if I want to help with Women's History Month. We whisk away in Doctor Who's gender police call box and visit the cis self I once was. Was I ever cis? But she doesn't know we tripped. Outing is slow going. What has women's history done for me? What have I done for women? I am not a woman. I'm the doctor. My brain pulses between 2 hearts. She wants me to join her in reprising the vagina monologues on campus again, like we did 2 years ago. Remember when? Remember when I suspended my misgivings with suspenders? Remember when I uttered cunts, but it exploded like a bizarre supernova? I tell her I would. I tell her I would. I told her I would, but no. I would, but can we write a preface about its limitations? I would, but no. It doesn't fit me anymore. If it ever did. I don't say this though. I should. Here, space and time narrows to a pinpoint. My mask goes into collapse. 3, the definition of woman is slippery. The definition of woman is hard. Anyone who identifies and presents as a woman qualifies for this event. Neither, no. Yes, both, if it means I get to speak. Oh, hello, you young, sweet companion. You've ridden with me a long time now. You've always been here, head against both my hearts, searching for a rhythm you can dance to. This is my body, love. This is my chest and head and lanky attachments. And this is your body too. I know you aim to please. I know you want praise. I think it's time you let me hold you and soothe you, little girl inside this boy man chest. Wait for it. We have so many more event horizons ahead. 4, you will make it through them intact. You can act. You will not collapse. You will compress. Yes, wear that vest, shape shift, same ship in a box, same looping music, same purple swirls surround you as descend, narrow, go, 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 and then emerge fresh, new doctor body, another way of moving, a new universe on the other side of this black hole, this portal. Let's go. 5, only the hesitation causes the collapse. And this is the last one. A letter to my dildo. You are only for special occasions. Everyday use is external, anxious, rub out, high-powered Hitachi magic wand. But you, dear dildo, pink and soft, pseudo skin, bendable core, you live in a harness, ready for the nights I'm feeding you to another's welcoming maw. Dear dildo, curious model of an appendage that is usually shrunken, you are comically large, extended, and chronically hard. Once I found you inside of me at the hands of a lover who would have me worship his cock. Dear dildo, you are not an ersatz penis. You are not a faux phallus. You are not Pinocchio. You thrill the blue fairy just as you are. When this man could embrace your utility, pleasure, and engulfment of my core without concern for his raw nerve, this was magic and beauty. And when we put you away, dear dildo, my heart went with you. His body shrank down to 8 inches of flesh, sweating and holding and forcing. I mentioned this as a brick, a Bible, and a block of wood. I have few other words, but these here. Dear dildo, I missed you while I was away. He asked me if I'd used you on another woman. Typical. Yes, I'd said, but no, not use. Dear dildo, you are a gift. You parody the paradox. You sweet grace. You plastic, elastic, ecstatic thing. Dear dildo, at best you make us sing. Dear dildo, this is my offering from a body who goes in with you and will take you in too with your selfless generosity. You are what the cock should be. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, give it up for LD. Best title.
Yeah.
Love hearing y'all.
Thank you.
Hey, LD.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cassandra, you want me to do the next person? What's happening? Everyone's staring at me.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Welcome back.
I'm here.
You got it.
I'm here. Next up, I like to just, I don't know. I like pictures of books. I like to show them off. I like to touch them, smell them. I love this book. I love this writer. Up next, we have Keenan Norris. His latest novel is The Confession of Copeland Kane. Keenan's first novel, Brother and the Dancer, I can't recommend enough, won the 2012 James D. Houston Award, and he served as editor of the critical anthology Street Lit, representing the urban landscape. His editorials and essays have appeared in the Los Angeles Times and Los Angeles Review of Books, Alta, Lit Hub, Electric Literature, and Remezcla. Keenan teaches American literature and creative writing at San Jose State University, and I insist that you purchase and read this book. It's so good, y'all. Give it up for Keenan Norris. Thanks for joining us, Keenan.
Thank you. And yeah, thanks for highlighting my book. My novel, just real quickly before I start reading, set in a near future Oakland circa 2030. And I guess the only other thing you need to know about the section from very early in the book that I'm going to read from is that the main character, Copeland Kane, is on the run. He's been, he's suspected of a crime that resulting from a protest action that he was a part of. And as law enforcement begins to publish his juvenile criminal record, Copeland decides that he has to tell his story. So I'm going to read from the beginning of Copeland Kane's story. They already arrested Keisha Free and DeMichael, snatched them up easy because So Clear done searched out their location. Then law enforcement did that criminal contact tracing thing, followed them from their phones and whatnot, bagged them up. As long as we're talking technology, boss, you might as well know my audio comes to you unencrypted in this bootleg old Presage voice app, the most off-brand, unheard of cell phone app you will ever encounter. It calls itself the Cayman Island of apps. Don't ask how I got this mess on my phone, but it's all yours truly got to work with right now. So you might have to trust me on this one, even if you're not trying to trust this technology. Real talk, Jack. I only ask that the people hear me all the way out. I won't jeopardize y'all no kind of way, except maybe in y'all feelings. I can't tell you about your heart, Jack, but I'm gonna tell you what's in mine. Nobody want to hear why shit hit such a swerve and went so left, but the fact is it was all kind of facts, then built up to the one big fact. Excuse me, edit that. The one pivotal incident that everybody and their mama cares so much about. The crime in question, the weed that worked its way up from spoiled soil to choke the chief gardener. Now I'm giving testimony the only way I know how, without having Mr. Miranda's rights read to me. I'm making a real record right now, not just how that man got, but about everything that got me here. Copeland Kane, the alleged accomplice, the fugitive, the ghost, the rabbit, the radiated, the remediated, medicated, incarcerated, the child who fell out of colored people time and into America, the whole deal, to go against the apex predator they steady create me into on the news feed every 5 minutes. And fair warning, I tend to tell 3 stories to tell one and get sidetracked sometimes, but I'm gonna try and not do that shit. Now, since they want to go and air me out for everything I done did since I done crawled out the crib, here's some back in the day. I'm Copeland Kane the 5th, but it's probably more than 5 of me in our history. We just don't have the records on all that. They say the name comes from a plantation, the Copeland Plantation, Louisiana, that after slavery ended, my people came with that given name to Oklahoma, Greenwood. And yes, my folks did get torched about that mug when the white people went and burned up Black Wall Street, murdering 300 some people of the sun. At least that's why I believe they left. I know for a fact the fam fled out that bitch on account of something mean June 1921. Them and all of Oakland's Oklahoma ancestors done came out west, no turnbacks. Not one piddling pillar of salt left behind, as Daddy would say. But now that old man does look back, and he blames himself, like my predicament can be put down to his parenting. But real spiel Kurt Flood Field, deep in the heart of East Oakland, that old man's always been around for me, which is more most kids can count on from their father. Even if truth be told, mine was too much around for me. Yeah, back in the day, Daddy had me surrounded. He was everything to me. Even if by the accounting of the government, he barely existed. Having no employment, no property, no credit, just a social security number and a name. When it came to work, he stayed unemployed, or he stayed employing himself, mostly unsuccessfully, which ain't much different, am I right? Now, don't get it twisted. The old man was a hard worker. Had him his tools, his parts and pieces, plots and plans drawn up and scribbled down on Post-it notes and loose sheets of paper that was scattered around the apartment like so many surprises. He was an inventor, you dig. His mind never rested, never let me rest neither. On God, Jack, any hour I wasn't in school, had me on work detail. Inventors need laborers after all. So I served as Daddy's workforce, no matter the project. Sweep that porch, go pass out these flyers, knock on them doors, haul this water, run tell that to him, her, them, the man on the telephone, the customer over there, the icy motherfucker with permits, and the mad on about any and everything east of downtown. And while you're at it, dodge a hungry stray dog or two. Wasn't no money in it neither. Once in a blue, the old man would throw me a couple cowrie shells. Here, just so you don't go hollering to your teacher or your mama about no slavery. Don't go asking for no salary though. That food on your plate, clothes on your back, and roof over your head is CEO money damn near. Focus, boy, you would say. We're trying to make something of ourselves. Now, from this young Sahab's perspective, my old man's vocation made about as much sense as Arabic. Wasn't nobody else's father trying to invent anything when the post office was hiring and shit? But with time and experience, now I see his inventions as the natural response to an East Oakland existence, with all the tests and experiments and other mess we done had ran on us. What else could a man do but start experimenting his own self? If the old man had a problem, it wasn't his career choice. It was that he wanted to make more of himself than the world would allow. Daddy dreamt of uplifting our neighborhood and overcoming it all at once, making millions off a code switching app, a black business magnet, and anything else you couldn't think of, but he could. But selling dreams to broke folks, we ain't seen the inside of their eyelids in who knows how long. Well, suffice it to say, Daddy's dreams was always a little outside his reach. Meanwhile, Rockwood remained well within our grasp. The Rock, that towering old East Oakland apartment complex, which, like Daddy, didn't fit the description. Understand, Rockwood was not the hood. Not in the 2010s it wasn't. That whole line about our buildings being Oakland's last housing project, which they sold us all the way to the wrecking balls, that would have been news to us residents back in the day when I was knee-high to that Nike shoe. To the contrary, the Rock was actually tranquilo. Come to think of it, I'm not sure if we was even all that poor or if the city just got too damn expensive. But most folks had lost jobs in 20, found worse ones in 21, and ain't really recovered since. Those losses alone labeled our neighborhood. But it wasn't always a homeless camp on every corner back in the day. It wasn't all these compounds for rich folk just flaunting their wealth right in front of us. The wealthy was strictly segregated to downtown back then. And with it being less of the extremes in the streets, it wasn't so common for folks to covet the next man's bag, let alone for them to gank it at gunpoint. We lived in an apartment complex, not a housing project, a neighborhood, not a quarantine zone. It was only as I got older and the houses nearby and the housing projects nearby, Buckwild, Ravenscourt, and the rest, was raised, that the place where we lived was deemed guilty by its disassociation from the future of the city, from this future state that don't even want to include us. But it wasn't always like this. In the beginning, Oakland was rough, sure enough, but so clear, and that thing y'all call America was a million miles away. As long as we played it close, life and death felt safe on the Rock. Thank you.
Damn, let's give it up for
No,
Keenan Norris. That was amazing. I'm putting his book back in the chat. Please pick it up. Woo. That was just, I needed that. We all need this book. So I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna borrow it from you. All right. So up next we have Joel Landmine. Joel Landmine is succinct. That's not in his bio, but Joel Landmine's work has never been nominated for a Pushcart Prize. His collection, Things Change, and yeah, well, are available from Punk Hustage Press. Please give it up and welcome to the stage, good human Joel. Can't wait to hear from you.
So good to see your face, Kelechi. And Keenan, that was fucking dope. So I too have a new book. It's called Things Change. This stuff is in it. This is called You Do What You Can. I used to know this guy. I tried to help him with his drinking problem, but I couldn't. So now I just send him the beautiful photos I take of the flat, dead things I find on the street around the city. This is called Gilda Radner and Gene Wilder. You know how couples sometimes talk in bed a little before they go to sleep at night? But they were the best at that. I can't get used to these Zoom readings where you can't hear anybody. It's fucking weird, man.
Woo!
I know my shit goes on, y'all. This is
Go
called
ahead.
All Creatures, Great and Small. Looking out my window, I saw a butterfly and a jetliner. Is this the one? No, that's not the one I wanted. All right, so a funny one and a less funny one. This is called Two Roads Diverged in a Yellow Wood. I meant to ask you what's up with your friend, but that was hella years ago and I'm married now. All right, so this is called 10 Years Later, and it's from 4 years ago Thursday, except 4 years ago seems like so much fucking shit has happened, dude. Anyway, this is called 10 Years Later. The damp last-ditch drug program by the sea, with its sagging ceilings and the black mold on the walls. Grown men in their 30s and 40s constantly bitching and bickering, acting like hard men, but sounding like school children in need of a nap because nobody had ever showed them how to act right. More a flop house than a treatment center. I've been there for 30 days and I was finally allowed to leave by myself, unsupervised. I went downtown and bought 2 bottles of NyQuil and went to a movie theater to watch a movie about Russian gangsters. I sat in the darkened theater and drank both bottles as though they were shots. I figured I'd get a little buzz on and watch my movie and go back there without stinking of booze, without anyone being the wiser. For once, everything went as planned. It was the last drink I ever had. 10 years later, on the same night, I feared for my home. They were selling my building and my wife and I couldn't afford to move. I hated my job, wasn't sure I could do it, but it was really important that I do it. I was swamped and I needed that check. Someone dented my car. I found an abscess in my mouth. Much of the country was on fire or underwater as the people I loved came to celebrate this milestone. We went to my favorite place. They got me chicken and greens and iced tea. The waitress, 20 years past her prime with a mouthful of gold, blew us all away with the most soulful rendition of Happy Birthday any of us had ever heard. I was moved, wondered to myself why she wasn't famous, why she was a waffle waitress and not a singer, until she hugged me and I smelled the Malibu on her breath and I understood. And fleetingly thought about how if things had gone the other way for me, probably nobody would even let me serve waffles. Despite the love, despite all the triumphs, I felt sad and somehow defeated. I was nearing the end of the second week of intense depression on the heels of a year of slightly less intense depression. But I thought of Raymond Carver, how in his 10th year sober, he found gratitude in the face of death. And I listened to the new Jay-Z and marveled at how even a person with everything can grow and grow and grow. And how Biggie didn't have that chance and everything he could have given us all. And I put on the movie about the Russian gangsters and wrote this down. Thank you. That's my story.
Give it up for Joel. That was beautiful.
Hey, Joe. Oh my God.
Poems are so long, but damn.
Landmine.
Please get his book. Get
There's
it.
one in here that's like 3 pages.
So long.
It's exhausting.
I'm experimenting with long form shit.
It's me. I just want to say our last reading was all people with new books that we wanted to showcase, and we wanted to do that again for this, and we kind of like wrote a list of our most wanted people, and we got every single one, and it's it's like so exciting to see you all here and hear you. So last up, our headliner, and I so wish that the book came in time for me to hold it and Vanna White it, but it is Gordo. Jamie Cortez is a writer and visual artist based in Northern California. His fiction, essays, and drawings have appeared in diverse publications that include Kindergarten, Experimental Writing for Children, No Straight Lines, Street Art San Francisco, and Infinite Cities, an experimental atlas of San Francisco edited by Rebecca Solnit, who also interviewed him for City Lights for the book release, and it was so great. That was on UC Berkeley Press. He wrote and illustrated the graphic novel Sexile for AIDS Project Los Angeles in 2003. Cortez often combines humor and tragedy to tell stories of resilient survivors on the margins of the economy, the law, and social acceptability. Gordo is Jamie's debut collection of short stories, and it just came out in August by Black Cat, an imprint of Grove Atlantic Press. His website I recommend you check out is jamiecortez.org. And like follow him, because even his Facebook posts are like epic and gorgeously written and like will have you crying and laughing and all the things. Like I'm just so excited to hear him read for us tonight. Give it up for Jamie Cortez.
Thank you, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Great. Thank you so much, Cassandra. Thank you, Kelechi. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. And of course, thank you to everyone who took time to show up and spending time to hear these wonderful writers that we've just heard. I'm going to read to you from one of the short stories in my collection, which is called Gordo. Oops, a little blaring. There we go. It's called Gordo, and it just came out on August 17th, so it's pretty new in the world. I'm going to give you a little bit of context. The stories are set this one is set in the 70s on a migrant farm worker camp in the farm town of San Juan Bautista in San Benito County. The narrator is Gordo, who is kind of my avatar. He's a fat sissy boy growing up in a rough and tumble kind of migrant farm worker camp setting. And he is here having a little exchange with another kid from the camp. She's a bit older than he is. Her name is Fat Cookie. Fat Cookie is a middle schooler, and Gordo is perhaps a fifth grader at this point. And I'm going to read to you a little bit of an encounter they have in the name of the camp. So here we go, is an excerpt from Cookie. Cookie. Fat Cookie takes a tiny yellow library pencil out of her pants pocket. She looks from one side of the camp to the other like a spy. She stares at the white wall in front of her like it's something interesting, a television show, or one of those flea market posters with the most beautiful unicorn with a gigantic tail running in the wind. With the back of her hand, Fat Cookie wipes a dusty spider web off the wall and then holds the tip of her pencil against the wall. What are you gonna do? I ask her. She breathes. Thinking, are you gonna write on the wall? I ask. Because if you do, you're gonna get in trouble with, shut up, idiot, she says to me, but not in a mean voice, more like a tired voice, like a mom. Gordo, what do you even know about trouble, she says. You don't have enough imagination to get into trouble. You're too busy kissing ass and reading your books. Fat Cookie, I say, all the buildings in the camp belongs to Gyrick Farms, even the outhouses. Besides, people live in this building, dummy. Tia lives here, Don Ramon. Heck, I'll bet it's against the law to write on that wall. You can't just grab your pencil and draw. Maybe you can't, but I can, and I will. And don't call me Fat Cookie, because you're a fatty too. Cookie puts her big moon face right up to mine. I can smell her. You always smell like peanut butter, I tell her. Is that all you ever eat at your house? No, sometimes we get the big block of cheese or the giant cans of tuna or chicken meat. What do you care anyways? You jealous? No, I'm not jealous. Your mom can't even cook good, I say. I saw her throw some meat in Wonder Bread and call it a taco. Meanwhile, my mom makes good food all the time. Fresh tortillas, pancakes, carne asada, pozole, chicken soup, delicious. Is that all you ever think of? Food? No. Well, it looks like it. I'm trying to start my drawing now, so shut up or I'll split your lip. Go ahead and try, Cookie. You split my lip and you'll do what, bozo? She asks. You split my lip and I'll kick you, I say. Probably in the pussy. Cookie wrinkles up her nose like she smells something bad. In case you don't know, it doesn't really hurt that much if you kick a girl in the pussy. All it does is make her mad, and then I'll have to kick you in the coconuts if you have any. See if that finally shuts you up. You think you're so big, I say. That's because I am. I'm 5 years older than you. I'm taller than all you little punks on this ranch. In a year or two, I'm gonna start driving and get the hell out of here. For now, though, I had to live here, and to be honest, I'm the queen of Gyrick Farms worker camp. I'm a Chicana, not a beaner like you. What's that? Being a beaner means you don't have papers to be in the USA. It means you're a mojado, just another wetback. No, sir, I'm not a wetback. I was born over in Hollister at Linda Hawkins Hospital. We live here in San Juan Bautista since I was a baby. What about your mom and dad? They have their papers. They work in the field, says Cookie. They don't even speak English. They live in this shitty camp with you. You think they got papers? No way, Jose. Well, you and your mom live in the camp and you got your papers. We're Chicanos, we're real Americans, not beaners. We belong here forever. Nobody can take us away to Mexico. We can speak English and we can write it too. We're not going to be in this shitty camp forever. My mom says we're leaving as soon as things get better, maybe to Hollister or Watsonville to live by the beach. We're gonna have a real house with a yard, a flush toilet, a telephone, and no beaners. I'm not a wetback and you ain't no queen. What are you gonna draw? Shh, she says. I'm an artist, Mongoloid. I need quiet to do my work, so shut up. That Cookie stares at the wall, moves her head from one side to the other. Then she takes her pencil and draws a big, perfect circle on the wall. Then she draws these little curved lines coming out of the circle, and they're the same size, the same curve, same distance. It's almost like they were made by a perfect drawing machine. Are you drawing the sun? I ask. She doesn't even look at me. She stares at the wall with her eyebrows all bunched up. Cookie looks like she's gonna call out the wall to a fight. Meet it after school behind the baseball field. Show it who runs the show. She draws some more and I can see it. A pretty flower growing right on the wall. Then she draws another one that's hiding behind the first one. She draws two more big ones and lots of tiny ones in a bunch like grapes. Then Cookie starts drawing little marks inside the petals. Stop drawing right now, Cookie, I say. They're super good right now. If you do anything more, you're gonna ruin them. I'm not gonna ruin him, she says. This is what they call shading, tonto. You do shading to make him look more better, more prettier. Besides, they're my flowers. I can ruin him if I want. She draws a little more, and it's true. She made the flowers more prettier than ever. Cookie draws tiny teardrops on the petals. They look so real, I can hardly believe it. She sketches curvy stems with little thorns. I want to tell her that only roses have thorns. Well, roses, nopales, other cactuses, but I don't want to get her mad again, so I shut up. She draws jaggedy leaves on the stems and shades them so they look like they're opened in the middle like a book with veins. Wow, this drawing is boss. I always thought Fat Cookie only knew how to be mean, but she's not only mean, she's an artist. I look over at Cookie's flowers. Half an hour ago, there was nothing on the wall, only paint and dusty spider webs. Now flowers. I think art is kind of weird. These flowers came from somewhere, right? They weren't in the wall and they weren't in the pencil. They were in her all along. I picture Cookie stuffed with flowers from her toes to her throat like a piñata. All those flowers in her waiting to get out. I'm looking at Cookie's masterpiece, then wham! I get hit across the back of the head. I look behind me and it's Tia Sara from next door with a broom in her hands. Ouch, Tia, why'd you hit me? I didn't do nothing. Nothing, she says. Last time I looked, the wall was clean. Now it has cholo drawings on it and you're standing here. What am I supposed to think? And that's it.
Yes, can we just unmute and give it up? That was Let's give it up for all our readers tonight. But, okay, that was beautiful.
Awesome.
Woo! Yes.
Thank you so much,
I mean, that was so dope.
all of our readers. That was so
Thank
so
you.
good. Thanks, Beast, for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, that was just an hour of pure greatness from beginning to end. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just everybody. Wow.
That's so good.
I kept telling people that this might be the hottest hour of the day, and I think you might have pulled it off. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna stand by that.
Each day, all day.
Congratulations, MoonDrop, on a really killer cap, and congratulations, Jaime and Keenan and Joel and who am I missing? I'm missing everybody here. KR, LaMar. I always call him Khalifa, but I know it's LaMar. You guys and just tremendous. Just what a show. And what a day. All of our curators.
And LD.
And LD. Yes, I knew I was missing somebody. I'm so sorry, LD.
And Ronnie.
Killed us.
Ronnie was great.
Dear Dildo.
Oh my God,
Are you
it was really, oh my God, dear Dildo. Holy crap, what a piece that was. Yeah, I said it. I can say it. I can say this is a free speech zone. This is a free speech zone. We never claimed Beast Pro was a safe space, but you guys can be counted on to give content warnings and trigger warnings because when it's working right, we self-police each other. So we self-police ourselves so nicely because I love the conscientiousness of this community and how wonderful you guys are. Just real quick, but before I maybe turn it over to Yusef for some final words, because I want to thank Yusef and I want to thank his volunteer Jana for all of their support, for helping me keep it going and keeping you going today, because it has been about keeping you guys going today. And we're gonna go tomorrow. We start early tomorrow. We come on air on this same channel at 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m. 10:30 a.m.
10:30.
We're opening our first musical guest of the day is going to be Blackberry Singer.
Don't miss him.
Blackberry Singer is a tremendous old psychedelic rock, blues, funk, fusion guy here in the East Bay, but he also does a lot of great work with the lower bottom players too. We're working with Ayadeli's outfit out there on the West Side. Here is the link to tomorrow's show at 10:30. There it is. You have been given your Zoom link, Zoom meeting. If you want to jump in at 10:30 a.m. to watch Blackberry Singer, followed by Natasha Dennerstein's.
It's going to be an amazing show.
Fierce Words, the all gender reading is happening, starting at 11 a.m. And that's how we're going to start our day tomorrow. We're just going to keep rocking it the way we've been rocking it all day. The way you guys have rocked it all day. Thank you for everything you've done for the. You have made the Return of the Beast is officially successful, and it's because of you guys. And that's all I've got to say about it. And I got to go build up my energy and get ready for tomorrow. Yusef, do you want to take us out with any wisdom, my friend?
No, man. I mean, it's just this has been amazing, an amazing day. We've been at this for about 9.5 hours or something such. We got another 9.5 hours tomorrow. Looking forward to it. It's been nonstop, amazing art, and the readers all day today have been so beautiful. And Paul, this is what we do it for, man, because it makes so many people just.
Yeah,
and we're the ones we see our favorites, and we get new loves, and then that's what it's about.
That's what we say. That's what this weekend has been all about. Some of the old favorites and a lot of new connections, new platforms, and a lot of new shit. And that
New
is-
shit.
and that is part of the mix too. Don't forget, we are closing tomorrow night with an open mic, the Jay DeSalvo Pedestrian Press Memorial Open Mic. You don't have to write poems in memory of Jay DeSalvo. We just named the open mic after him, the way we did the first open mic after Reginald Blockett. These are important characters in the Oakland literary canon, or the East Bay literary canon, and we remember these people and what they meant to us in our open mics. And our open mics are about democracy. Not everybody gets a chance to. We're so many brilliant people and so many other brilliant curators that we didn't have the room for this weekend, and we're going to try to make room for them in future weekends. But we do the open mics because we want to give everybody a chance to come share their truth. And it is about bringing up the platforms for this community to share its truth. So I'm out of fuel, man. I'm out of fuel.
Rest yourselves, please, and nourish yourselves. But how does one get on the list for the open mic? Just show up early, or?
Oh, there's a
No,
sign up
there's
on
a link.
sign up on the webpage.
Sign up on the webpage? Okay.
Yeah, you can sign up on the webpage.
Festival.beastcrawl.org.
Beastcrawl.org, baby.
That's it. It takes you everywhere you want to go. So
I need
Good night.
to take
Thank
a
you all
walk
so much.
in the fresh air.
Good night. Good